A fourth round of stimulus checks, everybody. A stimulus check timeline has been announced. This includes when these new payments will be sent out and who will be eligible to receive the extra money. Millions of Americans are able to receive and get the one-time relief check. I have some awesome news, everybody, to share. Millions of Americans can expect to see paper checks in their mailboxes next month. Most of the payments will be in the form of tax rebates, which aim to offset high inflation that's negatively impacting Americans from food to gas. And the others act as stimulus checks, which are given to those who have suffered financial hardship from the crisis. But regardless, there will be a one-time stimulus relief payment. First, eligible people in Chicago, Illinois residents can apply for each month and receive the gas and transit card funds. To apply, you must be a Chicago resident and at least 18 years old and have a current invalid city sticker with the correct mailing information for your vehicle. Also, your income must be at or below 100% of the area median income for Chicago. This is $93,000 for a household of 4. Chicago will issue up to 50,000 prepaid gas cards of $150 and 100,000 prepaid transit cards of $50 under the program. Cards will also be distributed each month. Millions in the state of Indiana have started to receive the rebate payments in May. The refunds are worth $125 per individual and $250 for married couples. Approximately 4.3 million Indiana residents will receive the $125 payment, about 85% of the state's adult population. Direct deposits will continue to go out this summer, while residents who opted for a paper check for those can expect to receive July and August checks. Any taxpayer who filed their 2020 taxes before January 3rd qualifies for the cash. Indiana governor has also proposed to send more money back to taxpayers. According to the governor's office, if it's approved, each eligible Indiana resident will get a combined total of about $350 in payments. Married couples filing jointly will receive $700, and also thousands of low and moderate income residents in Johnson County have applied for one-time stimulus checks of $1,400 under the Direct Assistance Program. To qualify, you must meet a few pieces in the criteria. You may also qualify if you're eligible for a federal program like SNAP or SSI. As far as income goes, it must be $45,000 or below for a household of 1, $51,000 for a household of 2. And now President Biden is urging Congress to pause the gas and diesel tax for 3 months through September in an effort to provide much-needed relief for motorists being punished at the pump. The national average price of gas hit a record $5 a gallon in June, and it's expected to increase into the summer with higher demand as travel heats up. Experts say that halting the federal gas tax, which stands at 18 cents a gallon, might not be as beneficial as you think, and are calling for other forms of relief. Joe Biden is hoping to enact a temporary halt to the federal gas and diesel tax without gutting the highway infrastructure fund.
Thank you, and you teed me up nicely because I do want to talk about the ET bill that both Mr. Ensminger, Mr. Hall, you talked about. This is the Open Evapotranspiration Data Act that I introduced. And the information's already there. Our goal is to make it public. And why is that important as we talk about evaporation, transpiration, water usage? Why do we need this data? So, Mr. Hall, I'm going to ask you first, and then Mr. Ensminger, if you would follow up.
Thank you, Senator. My vision of the future of the West includes a resilient agricultural community. Some of my most rewarding times as a professional.
Action is being taken this week. Millions of people are eligible to claim extra financial assistance from the government. Congress has launched several new programs to help low-income households dealing with high bills. The Illinois governor has signed off on a variety of measures to help families. This includes $50 tax rebates to all individuals who made less than $200,000 in 2021 and $100 for couples earning less than $400,000. Taxpayers will also receive $100 per dependent, up to 3 dependents. Homeowners are getting a tax break, and the state is providing property tax rebates for eligible homeowners earning less than $250,000 for individuals or $500,000 couples for couples filing jointly. Residents will receive this rebate and a tax rebate automatically. Chicago residents can also begin accessing a new financial program which is aimed at easing the cost of travel. The initiative, introduced by the Chicago mayor, will provide tens of thousands of prepaid gas and public transit cards. There will be 50,000 gas cards worth $150 each and a further 100,000 public transit cards with $50 preloaded offered to city residents. As the nation swelters through a summer filled with record high temperatures, the Biden administration is unveiling a new set of actions to intended help Americans with the extreme heat. Today, the federal government launched the heat.gov, a website that promotes planning and preparedness for the extreme heat waves made more frequent because of climate change. The website provides data tools for the following extreme heat advisories and links to resources from local government officials. As summer temperatures have steadily risen in recent decades, air conditioning costs have also sharply increased, with more than 44 million Americans living in areas under an extreme heat warning. The White House announced a set of actions to defray those costs and boost solar power to ensure the increased demand for electricity. As part of Wednesday's package for announcements, the Department of Energy unveiled moves to expand and diversify the solar manufacturing and installation workforce through apprenticeships and other training programs. Climate change this summer is causing more frequent and severe heat waves at times in the last 2 months. As many as 200 million Americans have found themselves living under advisories. Last week, cities across the countries with temperatures over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Taking aim at stubborn inflation, the Federal Reserve raised interest rates for a fourth time this year.
We are not in a quorum call.
Then we should not vitiate it.
All right.
Mr. President, my understanding is that the so-called Inflation Reduction Act may be coming to the floor in the coming days. And there are some people who think this bill is worth supporting. There are others who think that it is not. But whatever your views on this bill may be, let us be clear. As currently written, this is an extremely modest piece of legislation that does virtually nothing.
So many inflation surprises, where the data have come in higher than economists have forecast. This in turn is taking a heavy toll on the economy and financial markets. Central banks are raising interest rates, crushing equities, and consumer confidence in many places is lower than ever. But with paychecks stretched, budget strained, and interest rate on the rise, there is still government help available. Temporary assistance for needy families is a major public assistance program that's federally funded and run by the states. How much you receive depends on the state. In Oklahoma, the max amount for an adult and 2 children can receive through cash assistance program is around $300 a month. A family of 3 in Washington state, assuming they have no other income, will get about $650 a month. If you're unable to pay your rent or utilities and believe you're in danger of eviction, the U.S. Treasury's Emergency Rental Assistance Program may also help. The program began back in the early days of the crisis and is still operating in many states. And now New Jersey is opening a state rental assistance lottery for nearly 2 weeks in July for low-income elderly residents and people. And also, if you're struggling to pay your heating or cooling costs, there is another program that could help. The Department of Health and Human Services oversees the low-income